guys? We are back, and considering we finished the Relapse album, we're doing songs that just
Non-album
non-album
tracks.
songs by Eminem. So which one are we doing today?
Today we're doing Airplanes with B.o.B.
Yeah, I know
Anyway,
that's
you know that
yeah.
I figured you would, but we're aiming to go through all of his music, so we have to
So we
do
have to do songs that
You Even
I
Know.
know.
So yeah, I haven't heard the song in a while. It's fucking
Yeah, me neither.
very good from what I remember.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, so break it down.
Yes. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on all social media channels. The link is in the description below, and our username for everything is right here. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Airplanes Part 2, actually, it's called.
Really?
Because Eminem's not on the original song. So
Oh,
this is like it's like a
right.
remix,
Okay.
Here we go.
Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? I could really use a wish right now, wish right now, wish right now. Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? I could really use a wish right now, wish right now, wish right now. Dreaming.
Let's pretend like it's 98. Like I'm eating lunch off a styrofoam tray. Trying to be the next rapper coming out the A. Hoping for a record deal to ignore my pain. Yeah, now let's pretend like I'm on the stage. And when my beat drops, everybody goes insane. Okay, and everybody know my name. And everywhere I go, people wanna hear me sing. Oh yeah, and I just dropped my new album. On the first week I did 500,000. Gold in the spring and diamond in the fall. And then a world tour just to top it all off. And let's pretend like they call me the greatest. Selling out arenas with big ass stages. And everybody love me and no one ever hated. Just try to use imagination.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So B.o.B. kind of like came and went. You know what I mean? He had like a period.
Yeah, I forgot about him, honestly.
But he's actually like really fucking good. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's not bad.
Particularly in this song, he's like great. That's the reason why Eminem jumped on. You know what I mean? It's like a big hit and shit. Like
Yeah.
it's like very good. And she's incredible.
Yeah, she's really good.
Yeah.
Her voice is great.
Okay,
Oh
so
no, pop-up noises.
I don't know if they can hear that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think they can.
maybe. All right. So, can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? I could really use a wish right now. Wish right now. Wish right now. Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? I could really use a wish right now. Wish right now. Wish right now.
It's like self-explanatory.
It is. But it's like it's funny. I found that like it's like poetic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because it's like, all right, you're in a tough spot and like you're like begging, literally, you're praying to God, you're wishing, you're like, I need help right now. And there's no shooting stars, but there's all these airplanes that happen to be in the sky a lot. So, like, can we
yeah.
pretend that one of those are a shooting star? Like,
So we can make a wish and
it's,
get out of where we are.
yeah, it's like sad. Do you know what I mean? But like
Mhm.
poetic, kind of. So,
Yeah,
like, I always really liked it. You know what I mean?
yeah, I like this song. The beat is a sad beat though, so I don't really love
It
it.
is
I never
melancholy.
really like loved it.
Yeah,
Loved it.
I
Yeah.
did, but we have slightly
Hmm.
different. Okay, so right before his verse, B.o.B. does these two things where he says dreamin', then there's like, the beat plays out, then he says of falling. And
Yeah, I
then
never knew what he was saying there.
so that is interesting. So the whole concept of the song is that he's using his imagination of like being a star, you know what I mean? But like from the perspective of before he was famous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
He's like, let's go back to 98 is how he starts it. So he wasn't famous yet. But yeah, so he's dreaming, but then he says of falling.
like a star, like a
Oh, like a
shooting
shoot.
star.
Oh, so he wants to be the shooting star.
Maybe.
Interesting, because I was always like, interesting. Is he imagining that he's a star and then he like fails? But I never put two and two together. So
Yeah, I just figured that it was like
he's
dreaming of not maybe him falling, but just like dreaming of falling, like shooting stars,
interesting.
dreaming of falling
Yeah, I don't know.
stars.
Let us know what you guys think. I
Yeah.
kind of just sang along to that part and never really thought about what it meant.
I never even knew the words at that point. I was like, oh, he's just saying stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Okay, so he starts off his first verse saying, "Yeah, let's pretend like it's 98, like I'm eating lunch off of styrofoam trays, trying to be the next rapper coming out the A, hoping for a record deal to ignore my pain." So,
Okay, so like he's thinking that a record deal and like making it big and making money will fix everything.
yeah,
It
so
seldom does from what we've learned. But
so I don't know how old he is when he says eating off a styrofoam tray. I'm guessing he was referring to like school, you know what I mean? Unless
so I
he was in
think a
jail.
million different things when he says that. My thought is a lot of people who do like manual labor outside, a lot of times like those food trucks pull up, and like
Yeah,
you buy
yeah,
your
like the
food from them and it's
containers.
usually in a styrofoam tray. So I think like, oh, maybe he's doing like manual labor, maybe he's not working that making that much money.
Or he's just poor, yeah.
Yeah, or that, or from school, or
I don't know why my mind always went to school for some reason. You know what I mean? But you're
Right.
right.
Mm, well, okay, you went to private school.
I did.
So I went to public school, and our trays were always the ones that can be washed and put right back out. Like they're not about to waste money on disposable trays.
No, no. So I agree that when you hear styrofoam tray, you imagine those types of trays. We had those too. I don't know what you think
When
we
you buy
had,
food from a food truck, I don't know what you guys
but I'm saying like
use golds and gilded trays.
definitely not. But I do believe like I'm thinking of like even like when you buy a burger and the styrofoam box, that
Yeah.
is technically a tray. You know what I mean? So I think that's what he's referring to.
Or now that I think about it, I think he means like a food truck because it's always styrofoam from a food truck because
Yeah.
you're not really expected to bring back the tray.
Yeah. So whatever it is, the implication is he's not famous. He doesn't have a lot of money.
Yeah,
You
because
know what I
this was
mean?
before food trucks were cool. Like
Maybe,
back then, like getting your food from a food truck was like, ugh, you
I
know
don't
what I
know.
mean? Like you don't want to do that, I think.
No, I don't think like I don't think he's even thinking about cool. You know what I mean?
No, I'm
Like
not
I
saying
used to
cool.
always
Like
go.
my parents would be like if we were in the city and we passed a hot dog stand, I'd be like, "Oh, I want a hot dog." And I would be like, "No, you're not eating that. It's dirty."
I would.
Like there was always that connotation back then that anything off like a truck or anything like that was dirty and you shouldn't eat it because you don't know what they're putting in there. You don't know if it's clean. Like that was how it was back then,
S-
at least where I lived
So
and
New
grew up.
York's no, well, so New York City in particular is known for being disgusting. There's a documentary about the rats, and the
Yeah.
rats are in all of
But
them.
like I
So that's
so
true.
eat like once I started going to the city without my parents, I so eat those hot dogs. They're so good.
Yeah, I would always eat the hot dogs
And
with
the
my dad.
nuts. The nuts are good.
Yeah, so we would always eat them. But
They're
okay,
good.
it's so funny. We're doing like 5 minutes on
I know, but
tray.
yeah.
So he also said trying to be the next rapper coming out the A. So Atlanta, which
Yeah.
he's from Georgia. I don't know if he's actually from Atlanta itself, but you know what I mean.
He
He's
must be. I
he's
mean, you
trying to
wouldn't
come
just
out.
say that you're
Well, that could be
from
where.
Atlanta when you're
Well,
not,
that's where the
right?
music scene is. So
Oh.
you would like travel there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Same thing like if we were saying, oh, coming out of New York City, like we don't actually live in New York City,
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say that. I would be like, I'm from Long Island.
but if you were doing business there, you know what I mean? If you were performing in the city, you would be coming out of New York City. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes. So then, like you pointed out, a record deal to ignore my pain.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's thinking it'll make him feel better or help him ignore it, as he
But then like
puts it.
Eminem's on this song and he's like explained the same issue. Like I thought that would fix everything, but it didn't. It just
Yeah,
made new problems.
yeah. So he says, "Yeah, now let's pretend like I'm on the stage, and when my beat drops, everybody goes insane. Okay, and everybody knows my name, Bob.
It's so funny. I don't like think of his name as being Bob because everyone just says B.o.B.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, it's B.o.B. And I'm like, yeah, his name is Bob. Like
yeah."
Bob.
And he says, "And everywhere I go, people want to hear me sing." Then he continues, "Oh yeah, and I just dropped my new album. On the first week, I did 500,000. So Now it's saying he's famous. He's pretending he's on the stage. He's doing awesome. People are screaming his name. He just dropped an album. He did 500,000 record sales in the first week, which is crazy. That's like
It's a
really
lot.
good.
Yeah.
Then he says gold in the spring and diamond in the fall. So record sales. I don't remember what those numbers were. I don't know if it was 1 million for diamond. I don't recall.
I don't
It's
know.
been so long.
Is platinum better than diamond? Or is
No,
diamond better
diamond
than
is the.
platinum?
Oh, so you're right. I think platinum might be 1 million. Diamond might be 10 million.
That's a lot.
It's crazy. Yeah, Eminem has some diamond shit, which is wild. Yeah, so gold in the spring, diamond in the fall, and then a world tour just to top it all off. So he's like huge.
This is him fantasizing,
So
right?
this is bringing. So he starts off. So let's go back to '98. So this is him in '98
Fantasizing
imagining.
about what his future could be
Yes,
as a
rapper.
rapper.
Yeah, and then he says, and let's pretend like they called me the greatest, selling out arenas with big ass stages, and everybody loved me, and no one ever hated, which is interesting. And then he says, let's try to use imagination, which is so it's actually fucking brilliant, yo. And it's sad because this verse is his dreams. And like even in his dreams, like he's recognizing like, okay, yeah, everybody's gonna love me and no one's ever gonna hate. And then he's like, but let's try to use imagination. Like he knows that it's not
Yeah.
real. You know what I mean? Although even though the music stuff kind of did become real for him, there were
Yeah.
still haters and shit. You know what I'm
Well, there
saying?
always are,
Yeah, of course.
especially if you get bigger. There's just
Yes.
always haters. People are mean.
Yeah.
People just hate
Losers.
themselves and say mean things.
Of course.
We have haters.
Yeah. it happens.
And we have like not even 2,000 followers and we have haters. So they're always there.
Yeah, of course. All right.
Don't be a hater. We love you.
All right. We'll pick up here where we left off.
Just try to use
Can we
imagination.
pretend that airplanes in the night sky like shooting stars? I can really use a wish right now, wish right now, wish right now. Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky like shooting stars? I can really use a wish right now, wish right now, wish right now.
Okay. Let's pretend like this never happened. Like I never had dreams of being a rapper. Like I didn't write raps up in all of my classes. Like I never used to run away into the blackness now. Let's pretend like it was all good. Like I didn't live staring in the notebook. Like I did the things that I probably knew I should. But I ain't have neighbors, that's why they call it hood. Yeah, now let's pretend like I ain't got a name. Before they ever call me B.o.B or AKA Bobby Ray. I'm talking back before the mixtapes, before the videos and the deals and the fame. Before they ever once compared me to Andre. Before I ever got on my space. Before they ever noticed my face. So let's just pretend and make wishes out of airplanes.
Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky like shooting stars? I can really use a wish right now, wish right now, wish right now. Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky like shooting stars? I can really use a wish right now, wish right now, wish right now.
And it seems like yesterday, it was just a dream. But those days are gone, they're just memories. And it seems like yesterday, it was just a dream. But those days are gone.
It's really like blue balls there. Okay. So the chorus again, which we're not going to go through because we already did it when the song first started. So B.o.B's second verse is okay, let's pretend like this never happened.
Like him being famous.
Yeah, like the whole first verse, like let's pretend that he didn't
Like he
achieve
never
his
became
dreams.
anything.
Yeah. And then he says, like I never had dreams of being a rapper.
Okay.
Like I didn't write raps up in all of my classes. Like I never used to run away into the blackness.
I don't know what this means.
Okay, so I'm not sure if this is a double entendre. So blackness, I assume darkness. He would run away and hide. You know what I mean?
Maybe like just go into the void in his mind.
So
Like into
yes.
his imagination.
So I
like
don't.
staring off into space.
Yeah, so I have the lyrics on my phone. Like for you who aren't
Yeah.
familiar, I always have them pulled up because these lyric videos usually suck. This one seems to be perfect. You know.
Oh yeah. Well, this is a good. Whoever does these, they're always really good.
Yeah. So I didn't look. Before I do, I'll see if there's any annotations. I don't know if there's a race element here. And
Yeah,
blackness
because
being
it's weird
black.
to choose the word blackness over darkness
So it
if you're
rhymes.
talking true. If you're
You know what I
talking, but
mean?
if you're talking about darkness, like, you know, like if it's dark in a room, you usually say like, "Oh, it's dark in here."
Okay, I'm gonna read you. There's an annotation on Genius for this specific line, and it
Okay.
says, "This line is somewhat an interpolation of, quote, there comes a time where you fade to the blackness from part one of this song.
Yes.
In part one, he doesn't necessarily say he used to go into the blackness and segregate himself like he does here, but rather means he realized for some time with fame that he was just the same, which made him go into darkness."
I Is
So
it just me or does that not make any sense?
no, so it made sense,
I'm
but it used
confused.
the word segregation, which
Yeah,
which in
I'm really
which leads even
confused.
more to like, it
Like a
a racial
racial,
meaning. Yeah.
yeah,
So it definitely is the blackness, the darkness, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, alone, isolation. I
yes.
don't know if there's another intention, which
If
could
there is,
be a
honestly,
racial,
yeah,
yeah.
if you guys know better.
Yeah. Okay, so obviously he says, let's pretend that he never got famous. Let's pretend that he didn't write raps in his classes, which he obviously did.
Yeah, so everything he's saying, let's pretend I never did, he
He
did.
actually did do,
Yeah,
yeah. And then he says, like he never had dreams of being a rapper, like he never used to run away into the blackness. And then
okay.
he says, now let's pretend like it was all good. So it wasn't all
Like his
good.
life was good
Yeah. Like I didn't live staring in the notebook.
of his raps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
writing rhymes. Um, like I did the things that I probably knew I should. So
I'm guessing he's talking about like maybe like studying. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know if he was a good student or not. I don't know what he should and what he shouldn't have
so I
done.
mean it's funny because this is a line that applies to every human being. Like there's things that you
Yeah.
know you should do that you don't. You know what I mean?
But you can kind of get a gauge because he was saying like I think he said in his classes he would just write raps in his notebooks, right?
Yeah,
So if that's really all he was doing, like maybe he didn't take school seriously. He was just focusing on rapping. Like he became a rapper. So like, you know, it was good that he did that.
yeah. But he is saying things weren't all good and he didn't do things that he knew he should. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that's referring to rap or like you're saying
Just
like
like life.
life and school, all
Like
that shit.
maybe he, I don't know, did
I don't
I don't know.
know.
Just things that he did that were bad, I guess. But,
Yeah.
we all do those things.
And then he continues, but I ain't have neighbors. That's why they called it hood. Which
Which is a good line I
this
never
could
paid attention to.
this could be the best line of the song. Honestly, I haven't listened to this in a while. I know Eminem's is really good, and it gives me a different feeling than his verses do. I mean, this is a classic fucking bar. You
Yeah,
know what
because
I
it's
mean?
like the term is neighborhood. Like you live in a neighborhood, meaning that like everyone around you, you
Where
live in like
everybody
a
lives.
small, tight-knit community. You're a neighborhood. But if you're gonna pull the word neighbor out of it, you don't have any neighbors. To me, obviously, I'm sure he had people living next to him.
But
Like
they
his,
weren't
but
neighborly.
they weren't, yeah, they were definitely not
Yeah,
neighborly
yeah, and then
neighbors.
yeah, hood obviously, a poor community with like violence and crime. So
Yeah.
it's rough. But yeah, that's a fucking sick bar. It's
Yeah, it's
like,
really good.
it's amazing. And then he says, yeah, now let's pretend like I ain't got a name. So,
Okay, so
which he does.
you have no name.
And then he says, before they ever called me B.o.B.
A
or,
man with
or
no name.
what
A man who's not named. What was that
could
from
be.
Game of Thrones again?
Oh, no, isn't that Harry Potter?
No. The
Voldemort.
faceless man. And then it's the girl with no
Oh, a
name.
man has no name. A girl has no name.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was thinking of Harry Potter.
Voldemort, you just can't say his
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
Oh no.
It's funny. Okay. But yeah, you're right with wow, Joaquin Hagar.
Jockin'
Hagar,
Hagar.
yeah,
They call him Jockin' Jay-Z.
yeah, Jay-Z. It's a good song.
hmm
All right, so before they ever called me B.o.B. or AKA Bobby Ray, so Bobby Ray, he goes by B.o.B.
Isn't someone else named Bobby Ray?
Nah, I'm sure there is. And then he says, I'm talking back before the mixtapes, and then the ad lib is Cloud9.
Must be the title
Mixtape.
of one of his mixtapes.
Yeah. And then he says, before the videos and the deals and the fame. Yeah. Before they ever once compared me to Andre, and then the ad lib is 3 stacks.
So
So
3,000.
Andre
Because
2000.
stacks is 1,000.
Yeah, so from Outkast, Andre 2000.
Yeah.
He says before I ever got on MySpace. So he got on MySpace,
Must have gotten like big on there.
Yeah. He says before they ever noticed my face. So let's pretend and make wishes out of airplanes. Right? And then so then it goes into the chorus again, right? I can use a wish, blah, 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 blah. And then there's this little bridge here where it says, and it seems like yesterday it was just a dream, but those days are gone. They're just memories.
Self-explanatory.
So it's interesting. He's saying it seems like yesterday it was just a dream, but he achieved it, and they're just memories.
Yeah.
So that's crazy to think about. They're memories of him fantasizing
about the future.
but it actually came true.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's weird for that to be a memory. He's remembering, fantasizing, but it's a weird little thing if you actually think about that line.
I'm sure we all do that in our daily lives. Like if you think back to when you were little and you're just like, oh, like can't wait to turn like, I don't know, 21. And then like you're 21 and you look back and you're like, oh, that's so funny.
It is. All right. So yeah, we're going to pick up right here because Eminem comes in the second time he repeats it. So it's where Eminem's verse kind of, at least his vocals start. All right, here we go.
They're just memories. And it seems like yesterday it was just a dream, but those days are gone. Alright, let's pretend Marshall Mathers never picked up a pen. Let's pretend things would have been no different. Pretend he procrastinated, had no motivation. Pretend he just made excuses that were so paper thin they could blow away with the wind. Marshall, you're never gonna make it. Makes no sense to play the game, there ain't no way that you'll win. Pretend he just stayed outside all day and played with his friends. Pretend he even had a friend to say was his friend. And it wasn't time to move and schools weren't changing again. He wasn't socially awkward and just strange as a kid. He had a father and his mother wasn't crazy as shit. And he never dreamed he could rip stadiums and just lazy as shit. Fuck a talent show in the gymnasium, bitch. You want him out the shit. Quit daydreaming, kid. You need to get your cranium checked. You're thinking like an alien, it just ain't realistic. Now pretend they ain't just make him angry with this shit. And there was no one he could even name when he's pissed it. And his alarm went off to wake him, but he didn't make it to the rap Olympics. Slept through his plane and he missed it. He's gonna have a hard time explaining to Hayley and Laney these food stamps and his wick shit. Cause he never risked shit. He hoped and he wished it, but it didn't fall in his lap. So he ain't even here. He pretends that
airplanes in the night sky like shooting stars. I can really use a wish right now. Wish right now. Wish right now. Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky like shooting stars? I can really use a wish right now. Wish right now. Wish right now.
Jesus, there's still over 1:20 left.
Yeah, but it's kind of like
I think
over.
I think they do the, and it seems like yesterday. That
and then I think it
that bridge
fades out
again.
or something.
All right, but yeah, we're at 4:37, so we'll remember that. All right, so
You'll remember that.
yeah. So yes, as we mentioned before, he comes in and it seems like yesterday it was just a dream. Those days are gone, they're just memories. So yes, Eminem's first. He says, let's pretend Marshall Mathers never picked up a pen.
She's doing the same thing that Bob was doing.
Yes, Bob.
B.o.B. Right? It's so
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
B.o.B.
Let's pretend things would have been no different. So let's pretend things would be no different if he never picked up a pen. Pretend he procrastinated, had no motivation. Pretend he just made excuses that were so paper thin they could blow away with the wind. So he's really having us, okay, let's pretend that, because obviously we heard his whole verse, so we know the theme, it's kind of like a smack in the face to the rest of the song. Do you know what I mean? Because Eminem's whole point is you can't just wish. You can't just fucking wish on shooting stars. You have to fucking do shit. You know what I mean?
True.
That's what I love about his verse here. It's kind of what Kanye did on Forever, where everybody's like, I want this shit forever.
And you can have it back.
Yeah, so Eminem kindly does, kind of does kindly. He
kindly.
Kindly. He kind of does that. So we're pretending that he never picked up a pen and he was lazy and he procrastinated and he had all these excuses as to why he can't and won't make it. And they were so thin that they would blow away with the wind.
Yes.
And then, so I believe these are his excuses to himself. He says, Marshall, you're never going to make it. There ain't no way that you'll win. Makes no sense to play the game. Makes no sense to play the game.
This is why I don't like videos where it just has a one sentence on
Yeah, it
each
does
one.
suck. You have to keep
It's
clicking.
so hard to follow.
So yeah, it says, makes no sense to play the game. There ain't no way that you'll win.
Uh-huh.
So he's negative thinking, negative
Yeah, like
self-talk.
it'll never happen. Like, why would it happen to you?
Why even bother try? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pretend he just stayed outside all day and played with his friends. So he's
That's
saying,
fun.
yeah, let's just say he wasn't trying to rap. He was just outside playing with his friends.
Mhm.
But then we get a very sad line here. Pretend he even had a friend to say was his friend.
Aw.
So again, he mentions that a lot when he was young. You know, he was
Yeah, he was like
a
an
loner,
outcast,
a loser, didn't have friends.
got beaten
Yes.
badly.
And then he says, pretend he even had a friend to say was his friend, and it wasn't time to move, and schools weren't changing again. So, like we know from
Yeah, he
the
does hop
albums,
around a lot.
yeah, his mom moved him around a lot, so they were constantly going from house to house. And then,
So like once you settle in, think maybe you found a friend, it's like, oh, gotta go.
yep, you're going somewhere else, so you got to make friends all over again.
Very traumatizing.
Yeah, for sure. He wasn't socially awkward and just strange as a kid, so we know that he was socially awkward and weird.
Same.
Yes. And then he says he had a father and his mother wasn't crazy as shit. So,
So like more of a quote unquote normal type childhood.
yeah, again, he didn't have his dad and his mom was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're pretending that these things didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then he says, did I jump ahead? Then he says, and he never dreamed he could rip stadiums and just lazy as shit. So, he didn't even have the dreams to be a rapper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it just never crossed his mind.
Yeah, and he was just lazy, no motivation, none of that. He continues, and he never dreamed. Yeah. So then this is a quote. So I'm not sure if this is him talking to himself again. It sounds like it's somebody else speaking to him. So he says, "Fuck a talent show in the gymnasium, bitch." Okay, so that might be him. But so I do believe this is reference to a real thing because just like he mentions the Rap Olympics, I believe he met or became friends with Proof after he performed at a talent show.
Okay.
Yeah, he talked about that in some previous songs. So I guess Eminem is the one saying "fuck a talent show in the gymnasium, bitch." So
Yeah, like
following the theme, he says, "You won't amount to shit. Quit daydreaming, kid." So again, that could be him talking to himself.
yeah, because he's forgetting everything and now like someone must have suggested this to him and this is the him with the normal parents and he's like,
Yeah.
why would I want to do that?
So I do think it's him talking to himself, but it
Yeah.
could be somebody else saying this line to him. You won't amount to shit. Quit daydreaming, kid. And then he says, "You need to get your cranium checked. You're thinking like an alien. It just ain't realistic."
Thinking like an alien.
Yeah. So you're delusional. Now pretend they ain't just make him angry with this shit. Okay, so that makes me think those lines were from somebody else to him. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now let's pretend they ain't make him angry with this shit. So he got angry because of all doubters and the haters. He says, and there was no one he could even aim when he's pissed at. So like he does in his raps, he gets angry, he writes shit down and raps about it, and he can aim it towards them and vent and all that shit. Um, and his alarm went off to wake him, but he didn't make it to the Rap Olympics, slept through his plane, and he missed it. So Eminem famously, you can watch the video on YouTube. He made it to the Rap Olympics. He
I
finished.
didn't know there was a thing.
Yeah, this is before he was signed, I believe. I believe. And yeah, he came in second place actually. He lost in the finals to somebody else, but he got noticed and there was a buzz, you know what I mean? So it like really helped him.
It's interesting.
So he's saying, he missed his alarm went off. He missed the plane to make it to the Rap Olympics where it really helped him get some, buzz.
The Rap Olympics.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's like a funny name to call it.
It is. So then he continues, he's going to have a hard time explaining to Hayley and Lainey these food stamps and this Wix shit. So this is interesting. I used to think he said this weak shit because it kind of sounds like this, food stamps. You go, oh, this is weak shit. Then I'm on that. You know what I mean? But it's WIC. It's welfare. It's
Yeah,
women, infant, and children. I think it stands for.
I'm not sure.
But it's government assistance. It's
Yeah.
it is the same thing as food stamps, but it's specifically for women with infants and children. So yeah. And then he says, because he never risked shit, he hoped and he wished it, but it didn't fall into his lap. So he ain't even here. He pretends that, and then it goes into the chorus. So this is really, like I said, it's kind of opposed to the rest of the song
Yeah.
because he's saying, okay, you have to take risks. You have to actually physically do something. He says, if you just hope and wish for it,
Yeah, it's not just gonna fall into your lap.
yeah, he says
It rarely ever does,
because
unless you are like born into the right family.
yeah, because he's saying, if he didn't risk, you know, taking this shot at becoming a rapper, becoming famous, it wouldn't have fell into his lap. And it says he ain't even here. He pretends that airplanes are nice. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
he's pretty much saying you're a fucking loser if you're praying that airplanes are shooting stars, which is so
Or at
funny.
least saying it's not gonna work.
You need to do more than just
Yeah,
wish.
you need to put in the effort as well.
Okay, yeah. So there's just a little bit. We'll play this out here. And I don't think there's anything to break down really after it. Okay, yeah, I don't think there's actually 50 seconds.
No, it just like fades out.
Yeah. Okay. So, Airplanes Part 2.
So I liked this song when it came out. It wasn't like my favorite because I always looked at it as being like a sad song.
It's melancholy for sure.
Yeah, like very melancholy, but it's like a pretty, the beat is cool. Like it's just like not, it's just like sort of upbeat enough for me to not completely hate it because like,
Yeah.
I can't do sad songs. I don't listen to them. I don't like them. If you follow us, you know that, and I just can't. But it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the song. It's great. I thought it was so I liked this song, the original, when it came out without Eminem. I liked
Yeah.
what's her name? What is it? Hayley Williams. Yeah, so she's fucking awesome. She makes the song, but B.o.B's verses are really good. Now,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, no. So he has different lyrics in the original version. Do you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? The one without Eminem, the lyrics are different.
Yes.
I'm almost positive.
No, I think you're
Um,
right.
yeah, so I liked that one. I liked his rhymes here, so when Eminem came on, I was like, sick. I do like how Eminem kind of flips the script on the song. And it's like, you gotta get out there and do shit. The I don't know. I like it. It's fucking great.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, don't forget to like and subscribe and what? I don't know what I'm saying, but we're still in between albums, so like give your recommendations here. We're gonna do what's the next song we're doing?
I don't know yet.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, we're gonna do like one or two more and then we're gonna move on to recovery.
Yeah.
Yes.
So recommendations. Bye.
Bye.